Today, I'm talking about self love. I'm talking about loving on yourself, honey. So, yes, it's Valentine's month. The month of love is coming. And I think it's important to remind ourselves of things that we can do to formulate a healthy sense of self love towards ourselves and balance out all the toxic advice out there. So, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nompi, and this is the Show Up with Nompi, where I'm pretty much trying to show up for the woman of my dreams and hopefully inspire you to do the same. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about a book that has helped me so much in cultivating a healthy sense of self-worth and self-love. The name of the book is The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden, who is probably considered the grandfather or the godfather, I don't know, one of those two. So he's considered the grandfather of self-esteem. Self-esteem, according to Mr. Nathaniel, can be divided into two parts, right? The first part is self-efficacy, which is pretty much whether or not you feel confident to deal with whatever life can throw at you, and self-respect, which is whether or not you feel that you deserve happiness, love, joy, and basically just all of the things. So honestly, that is the healthiest definition of self-esteem I have ever heard, and I am buying into that. Okay, so how do you go about cultivating self-esteem then? How do you go about feeling like, what, I'm good, I'm all right with myself, I feel that I deserve all of these things, and I'm confident that I can go for them. So the first pillar I'm going to talk about that helps with this is the practice of living consciously. And really, simply put, it's about being present, understanding what is going on around you, and also understanding what is going on inside of you, right? Having an awareness of your environment and your feelings, but also understanding that your feelings are not necessarily facts. Okay, this is very important, and that is why I don't subscribe to this thing of my truth. There is the truth, and then there are, which is very different to how you sometimes interpret things and how you process things, and which ultimately affect how you feel about them. So feelings are very important, but they're not the end all and be all of life. Okay, so it's very important to be able to acknowledge your environment, not be delusional about it or deny reality, but also not diminishing your feelings and how you're feeling about that. Being able to ask yourself, how does this make me feel? How am I processing it? And how am I gonna deal with the feelings that are coming together? One of the things that really help with this, I will say, is journaling. Journaling helps a lot with you putting your feelings, taking them out of your head and into paper, being able to process them and deal with them in a healthy manner. So the second pillar is the practice of self-acceptance, and self-acceptance means just unconditional acceptance of you and all the parts of you, even the parts that you do not like. Okay, it is seeing yourself for who you are and acknowledging that today, right now, this is the reality of my life and this is the reality of my past. Making peace with the past and making amends with it and accepting your present for what it is. Now, what this does not mean is that you are not going to make significant changes going forward. I honestly believe that the first thing that you need to do in the journey of self-improvement is to accept yourself. Now, that does also not mean that you can't like certain things. For example, I'll give you an example with me. I don't like the fact that I've gained weight. I don't like my body, but I accept it, and I don't hate myself for having the body that I've had, and I don't hate myself for making the decisions that got me to gaining 10 kilos. I accept that this is what happened, and I accept that this is where I am, and I'm moving towards a better path. So please don't confuse acceptance with denial or blatantly ignoring certain things and acting like you don't have to change. If you want to make a change, then self-acceptance helps you make a change. And if you cannot make the change, it helps you with being all right with yourself, being good with yourself and not feeling like you need to hate yourself through life, basically. But guys, I just want to say something, right? I love that in the book, everything is the practice of. It's not about whether you get to it. It's something that you constantly have to practice, and the more you practice, the more you do better, and the more you are able to cultivate a healthier sense of self-esteem. So I love that about this book. The third pillar is the practice of self-responsibility, and this basically entails taking responsibility of you, your actions, everything about you, understanding that no one is coming to save you. Okay, you are responsible for your own life and the path that it heads to. Now, when I say this, I always feel that someone will confuse this with saying, are we not supposed to hold people accountable for things they have done in our lives? Absolutely not. That's not what it means. You will hold people accountable for the actions that they have done that have affected your life, but ultimately the responsibility of your life still lies on you. The responsibility still is yours. You cannot shift that to somebody else. You can hold them accountable for their actions, but the responsibility of your life and your actions is absolutely yours. And I think this is why it's important to then bringing the element of self-acceptance, because of you are owning your life. Sometimes you've made bad decisions, and if you do not have self-acceptance, you will basically feel like, I have ruined my life. So the next pillar is the practice of self-assertiveness, and self-assertiveness basically just means that I'm living authentically. I am living my life, and I'm not afraid to express who I am, and not afraid to be who I am, because I am afraid of not being accepted by everyone else. It's having a sense of my own character and living within my values, and confidently doing so, even if it might not be the most popular thing to do at that moment. I will give you an example. When I started working, right, I was in a team where all of these ladies were doing amazing things, and I felt like I needed to fit into that. Although some of the things that I believed in, they did not believe in. For example, church type of vibes. I felt like I had to pretend I'm a church goer because everyone around me is a church goer, and the popular thing to do is to say I'm also a church goer, but I wasn't a church goer. I haven't seen a church in a long time, child. Okay, and I felt like by doing so constantly, I was betraying myself, because I had to lie and pretend to be something that I was not. So when you think of self-assertiveness, is showing up as your whole self to the world, and being okay with the fact that some of them might not agree or believe in the same things that you believe in, but being able to respectfully relay who you are and find peace and settle into yourself. The next pillar is the practice of living purposefully, and this is really just around being able to set your goals, define the actions that will get you there, act upon those actions, and review whether you are on the right path. This is around being a productive human person, living within your purpose. It's around being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna work towards something that is of importance to me. I'm going to actively pursue my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. This works very closely with with responsibility, like self-responsibility. You take responsibility of your life, and you commit yourself to working towards the things that matter to you. The last pillar is the practice of self-integrity, and with this pillar, it's just about say what you mean and mean what you say. Be truthful in your actions and your words. Let your words match your actions. And that's pretty much the essence of the pillar, And this is very important because sometimes we are more concerned about what people think of us and not who we really are and what we truly stand for. So if someone can find the things you say impressive, you almost feel like it doesn't matter if you actually live on those words or not, And especially in the life of social media right now, people are running around saying all types of shit that we know they don't believe in. Where you have seen your friends saying certain things online, and you're like, girl, that's not you. You're just trying to look impressive to the rest of the world. And yes, the rest of the world can find you impressive, but how are you feeling about yourself at the end of the day, Because betraying yourself is something that is very difficult to get over. And this is how I feel sometimes we lose trust with ourselves. I will tell you, I've had a situation where I used to commit to doing certain things and I wouldn't do them. And because of this, I lost trust in myself. I would set goals, but because of all the things that I have not done in the past, I would not feel confident in my capabilities to achieve those goals. I would not trust myself with my own goals and my dreams and all of those things. So I had to go through a phase of first acceptance of the past, forgiving myself, and then recommitting to what I want to do and saying this is who I am and living up to that person, and actively and constantly pursuing the best me that I can be. And not because anyone is watching, but it's because of it's a commitment that I have made to myself. So yep guys, that is the 6 pillars. Hopefully they help you basically cultivate a healthier sense of self-esteem and ultimately learn how to love yourself much better and more authentically. Let's not just focus on the surface actions, but actually focus on what is within, so that we can make sustainable changes. Thank you so much for showing up with me today, guys. I really do appreciate every single one of you. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, subscribe, but more importantly, share in this month of love with all those people that you love and you wish them to just love on themselves much better. So anyway guys, I will see you next week. Okay, bye.